The Tom Sox come into tonight second in the Valley Baseball League, but the visitors, the Covington Lumberjacks, are in third. We're about halfway through the Valley League season, and these two teams could vie for a potential championship berth later down the line. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Tom Sox TV for this presentation of Charlottesville Tom Sox Baseball. I'm Nathan Schwartz, joined alongside by my broadcast partner and good friend Gianni Maltese, making his debut behind the mic tonight. Gianni, welcome.
Thank you so much, Nathan. I appreciate that. I'm just happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Great to have you. And the Tom Sox are on fire at the plate recently, having double-digit performances in the last 3 games.
The Sox are hot, and I expect to see more of the same. We've had a lot of contributions up and down the lineup, which has been crucial, and the bats are getting going at home, which is huge for our success recently.
Yeah, absolutely, Gianni. 10 runs in Covington on Sunday, and then another double-digit performance on Monday against Waynesboro as well, and then you need to go back to Saturday for that third performance. And here for Covington, these two teams matched up on Sunday, and it was a back-and-forth battle, but Charlottesville with a big comeback in the top of the 9th inning to take that one on the road.
They just show that they don't give up. There's no quit in this team. They play for each other.
Mark Perkins will make his 4th start, his team-leading 4th start of the season tonight. Let's get into this Covington lineup. Leading off in center field, Kendry Noriega will bat leadoff. Logan Braunschweig will bat second in left field. Greg Mello, the third baseman, will be batting third. Edinson Renteria Jr., the DH, will bat cleanup tonight. Gabe Miranda is at first. He'll bat 5th. Anthony Castillo, making his Covington debut, will be at second base. Batting 6th, Luke Smith in right field. Batting 7th, Ronciel Ventura is the shortstop, also making his Lumberjack debut. He will bat 8th. And Victor Sanchez, the backstop for the Lumberjacks, will bat 9th. Mentioned Mark Perkins on the mound tonight for Charlottesville. He toes the rubber from the stretch. First pitch fastball catches the top of the zone for strike 1.
It's always a good way to start your outing. First pitch strike.
Going to be crucial for Perkins to get that fastball command tonight. 0-1 delivery. He goes right back to the two-seamer, and that one tails a little bit up high for ball 1 to even the count. Perkins this year at Rice had a 7.80 ERA in 12 appearances. Only made 1 start this year, but this is, as I mentioned, his 4th start with Charlottesville. That pitch just missed a little down low, so the count moves 2 balls and 1 strike to Kendry Noriega.
If you look at that ERA, it may be hard to tell, but his last appearance, he came out throwing heat with 4 1/3 inning, 5 hits allowed, and no earned runs with 5 Ks. That was a solid outing.
Absolutely, and there's a strike in there on the outside corner to Noriega to even the count at 2. You mentioned, Gianni, 4 1/3, 5 hits, no earned runs. That's exactly what you have to do in order to propel your team to victory here this summer. 2-2 the count from Perkins. Here's the pitch. That one is drilled down the left field line, and that's going to get into the corner for extra bases. Noriega rounds first. He's into second base, standing up. It's a leadoff double for the leadoff man, Noriega, and Covington getting going quickly offensively.
Not necessarily the way you plan on starting the game, but we'll see if they can come back here in the top of the 1st.
Noriega, that's his 2nd double of the season, came into the night hitting .264 over 17 games with Covington. And he's already on second base with nobody out for Logan Braunschweig, the senior outfielder from UAB. Will be making his 3rd appearance against the Tom Sox this season, one of the few Lumberjacks that's been here throughout the entire summer so far.
Braunschweig was 2 for 6 last time he faced the Tom Sox. That's overall this season with a .362 batting average overall.
Yeah, he's been one of the anchors of this Covington lineup. He takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Look at these numbers. .362 average, as you mentioned, Gianni. 14 runs driven in, 13 walks. Also has 9 stolen bases to his name. Still going for that first long ball, but he does have 3 extra base hits overall this season. Noriega, the runner on second after the leadoff double. The 1-0 from Perkins. That's grounded on a 1-hop to Derek Williams at first base, and he'll step on the bag for out number 1. Let's take a quick look at the defensive lineup for the Tom Sox tonight. Starting behind the plate is Salvi Alvarez, him going back and forth every day with KJ Alexander. Left to right in the infield, Connor Hinks at third, Kyle Edwards at short, Bryce Martinez at second, Derek Williams at first, and then in the outfield left to right, Brady Gumphin left, Sergio Rivera in center, and Hollis Porter out in right field. Going to be interesting to see how Derek Williams settles back into first base. It's been Alex Boucher's job at that first base spot, but he's no longer on the active roster. As the first pitch to Greg Mello is popped up right back to Williams. He's going to make the catch in foul territory for out number 2.
For Covington, the designated hitter
in play rather than fair territory is what I meant to say, but nonetheless second out of the inning.
Hey, we all knew what you meant. Good opportunity there to make that catch, and he took advantage of it. Quick change in scenery, how the beginning of the top half of the inning started. 2 quick outs here for Perkins.
So after the leadoff double, a ground out, and then a pop out. And now a runner on third with 2 away for Edinson Renteria. First pitch slider just misses below the zone for ball 1. Renteria undecided where he will spend his collegiate season in 2024. He spent 2020 with Palm Beach State, spent 2021 with Lyndon Coleman at Pasco Hernando, and then the 2022 season with Asa College Miami. There's a grounder to Hanks at the hot corner, a long throw to first base. He's able to make the play. Williams with a nice stretch. And that will end the top of the first. A leadoff double for Kendry Noriega, but 1, 2, 3 after that for Mark Perkins. We head to the bottom of the first here on Tom Sox TV. No score between Covington and Charlottesville. Back here for the bottom of the first inning here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you for the third matchup this season between Covington and Charlottesville. Tom Sox have taken both matchups. You go all the way back to June the 2nd, just the second game of the season in the Valley League. The Tom Sox took that one 8-1, and then we already touched on that 10-9 thriller back on Sunday between Covington and Charlottesville in Covington, where the Tom Sox came out on top 10-9.
This third matchup between them actually marks the end of the first half of the 44-game season tonight.
Yeah, Tom Sox 14-7 coming in. They're starting a stretch tonight where they'll play 23 games in 19 days. A couple doubleheaders sprinkled in there, including one on Thursday and then one on Saturday as well. So a lot of baseball coming up for Charlottesville. And here is the lineup tonight, though, for the Tom Sox. Kyle Edwards stepping into the batter's box now. He's at shortstop. Bryce Martinez will bat second. Derek Williams at batting third. Henry Ford, the DH, bats fourth. Hollis Porter bats fifth. Connor Hanks in the sixth spot. Brady Gump will bat seventh. Salvi Alvarez in the eighth spot. And Sergio Rivera will round things out for the Tom Sox in that ninth spot. First pitch to Kyle Edwards, and that's a fastball just missing on the outside corner for ball one. Jacob Havern making the start tonight for Covington. Havern has appeared in both of the two games against Charlottesville this season as he blows one by Edwards for strike one to even the count. He's gone 5 2/3 innings over those two appearances, giving up 3 earned runs on 6 hits.
Going back to June for that June 14th game at Waynesboro for Kyle Edwards, he's been batting .394 with 7 runs, 10 RBI, 4 doubles, a home run, and 10 stolen bases since that benching. That's about as good of a response as you can get.
Yeah, the only game he spent on the bench this season, and even got into that game late for the Tom Sox this year. He's played in 20 of the 21 games. The only game he was forced to miss was the game where he was in the showcase game out in Lynchburg that was paired with the All-Star break and one of the rainouts. Of course, we had that week-long rainout, it seemed like a couple weeks back, So Kyle's been a mainstay in this lineup all season long, and he'll continue to do that over the next couple weeks. His numbers overall this season, 306. He's 22 for 72, driven in 13 runs, does have a homer, 6 doubles, 10 walks, and 14 stolen bases. 2-2 from Havern. He gets Edwards to chase on a slider outside. It was caught by the catcher Sanchez on the fly for out number 1. Good sequence there for Havern.
He switched it up and kept him on his toes. He didn't know what to expect on that last final pitch. Good put-away pitch there.
Good first strikeout of the game for either pitcher. And for Heath, that was his, for Havern, that was his 10th strikeout of the season. Now Bryce Martinez steps into the box. He spikes one, did Havern for ball 1. Going back to Havern, did have a little bit of a mix-up with his stats. He's only appeared in 1 of the 2 Tom Sox appearances this season, and he went an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and walked 3. And his last appearance came on June the 30th against Purcellville, where he went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, and struck out 3 against the Cannons. A little bit of a delay here as Lyndon Coleman is coming out to talk with the home plate umpire tonight. And Fred Shaner, field umpire, is Ben Robertson, and now we're having a manager meeting here between Lyndon Coleman, Rennie Tolentino, and Fred Shaner behind home plate. Not exactly sure what the problem is here.
This is definitely odd to see, not even a full inning into the game, and both managers have to have a quick talk here. I wonder what it's about.
So now the field umpire, Ben Robertson, coming to see what's going on himself. And now Lyndon Coleman signaling out to the trainer for the Tom Sox to see if he can grab something. And now Jeremy Goins is coming out to home plate with a rake. And I think there might be something wrong with the chalk. Maybe before the game, whoever was chalking up the batter's boxes did it crooked. And maybe Kyle Edwards said something when he came off that there was something wrong with the chalk, and it looks like there is something wrong. And as Lyndon Coleman lines it up now, it's definitely in a different spot than it was previously.
Hey, when you're a batter, every inch counts in that strike zone. You're fighting for your life out there. Just some calls, when they're close, you got to have it exactly right.
What an interesting circumstance for a delay. The batter's box is chalked up incorrectly. Kyle Edwards knew it right away. I'm surprised that the Covington hitters didn't notice that in the top half of the inning, or maybe they did notice and just didn't say anything.
I feel like it's probably more of the second one, noticed it and just didn't say anything, but if you're Kyle Edwards, I totally understand why it needs to be said.
Lyndon Coleman, before and after every game, is always taking really good care of this field here, CHO Airport Field at Charlottesville High School. He's really patient with all the players. They help him out with the field work as well, and it's very clear that he cares about the field looking in pristine condition, and he's taking matters into his own hands here to get these batter's boxes in correct condition.
It's a full team effort to keep the field the way it looks.
And you can tell he's doing it with a little pep in his step, trying to get this game on the road. We've already missed enough baseball this season. A slew of rain delays. I believe we've had 6 total games called due to rain this year. And then the game on Monday night, right before the holiday yesterday, we had a game that was suspended in the bottom of the 5th inning that was eventually called official after a very dangerous surge came into the Charlottesville area. So Tom Sox came out on top of that game 13-3. Alex Boucher, his swan song with the Tom Sox. He had a phenomenal game in that one. He was 4 for 4 with a double, 2 RBI singles, 4 RBI total. And that's going to be a big loss for the Charlottesville offense moving forward.
I believe he had 8 total RBIs in his last 2 games as a Tom Sox.
He did. He didn't have a single RBI before Sunday's game, and then had 4 RBI on Sunday, 4 RBI on Monday, to put him at 8 RBI before heading back to Old Dominion. And as Lyndon Coleman finishes up the batter's box, then you do have to fix the line going towards the first and third base line as well, but it appears there was no problem there, just the batter's boxes were incorrect. And now Jacob Havern's going to get some extra warm-up pitches. The entire Covington defense went back to the dugout just to get rehydrated and all of that. A little bit more on Havern while we have some time. He's a sophomore from Louisiana Tech, right-hander out of Round Rock, Texas. This is his 5th start of the season for Covington. He's 0-1 with a 6.96 ERA. He's gone 10 1/3 innings, giving up 10 runs, 8 earned on 13 hits. And opponents are hitting .302 against him. So the Tom Sox looking to stack on top of what other offenses around the Valley League have been doing to Havern this season.
If you're the Tom Sox and you see that batting average against you, just want to get it even higher.
Play resumes, and Havern wastes no time blowing a fastball right past the veteran Bryce Martinez to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bryce pokes one into right field, but there is the right fielder Luke Smith for out number 2. Didn't even have to move.
For your Tom Sox, the first
So a strikeout and a line out to begin the day for Havern. And now Derek Williams, the Charlottesville slugger, stepping into the batter's box with 2 away.
Yeah, his stats against Covington this season, 1 for 1, 2-run homer.
How about that? He started the rally in that top of the 9th inning on Sunday. Charlottesville was trailing 9-7 going into that inning. Williams leads off the inning with a home run, also had an RBI via a hit by pitch in that 7th inning of the game. As he grounds one to second base, here's Castillo. He will make the short throw to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Havern to begin the night. Only 1 base runner for either side combined through 1 inning. No scores. We get to the top of the 2nd here on Tom Sox TV. Back here at CHO Airport Field for the top of the 2nd inning. First inning, not a whole lot of action other than the small delay with the incorrect batter's boxes. Only 1 hit between the top half and bottom half of the inning. A leadoff double for Kendry Noriega. And now Gabe Miranda, the first baseman for Covington, will lead things off in the top of the 2nd. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you here for the 3rd matchup between Covington and Charlottesville this season. Covington coming into this game 12-8, 3rd in the Valley League. Charlottesville 14-7, 2nd in the Valley League. First pitch of the inning for Perkins. Miranda catches the top of the baseball and drives it straight into the ground behind home plate for strike 1. The only team ahead of Charlottesville in the Valley League standings is Strasburg, who's played 23 games. They're 16-7. There's a ground ball right back to Perkins on a 1-hop. He will take his time, throw to first for out number 1, and that's a play right there. The pitchers for this team practice nearly every single day when they're at their respective college teams.
Batting for Covington, the 2nd baseman from Tallahassee Community College.
It's a quick way to get out.
Anthony Castillo.
Now Anthony Castillo, the 2nd baseman for Covington, will step into the batter's box, making his first appearance with the Lumberjacks this season, and he was a redshirt player at Tallahassee Community College this season, so this will be his first game action, arguably since whether it would be an exhibition game or a scrimmage in the spring during practice, inter-squads, all that, but first live game action since last summer, wherever he was playing his ball last summer.
That's a long time off for any batter.
Of course, you get your reps with the team during the season, but it's a whole lot different getting live pitching. And now Castillo already ahead 2-0 to Perkins. Here's the pitch, changeup on the outside corner for strike one. Castillo, Orange, California native. He'll be a rising sophomore, redshirt freshman at Tallahassee Community College. 2-1, fastball upstairs, and the count goes 3-1 to Castillo. On deck is Luke Smith, the right fielder, who's had his struggles against Charlottesville this season. We'll dive into that when he steps into the box. But here's a 3-1 from Perkins. Fastball that catches the outside corner for strike two, and the count goes full.
Castillo worked himself into a hitter's count, and that was a really good pitch by Perkins.
Perkins has been mixing in that fastball, slider, and changeup. Three-pitch mix here. Let's see what he goes with here on the payoff delivery. He goes with the fastball and grounds it to Kyle Edwards at short. He rounds the baseball and has a wide throw that will go in front of the Tom Sox dugout. Kyle Edwards only made 2 errors all of last season with Charlottesville. He's now made 7 this season from that shortstop spot.
It's not something you'd expect coming from Kyle Edwards.
And it really has just been the throwing errors for him that have been his trouble. He is one of the more fluid fielders I've ever seen, at least collegiately. But this season it just seems like the throwing error has given him a little bit of a trouble. First pitch from Perkins to Luke Smith is down low for ball one. Going back to Luke Smith's struggles against the Tom Sox this season, he's 0 for 5 in 2 games with 2 Ks, and he has a .229 average overall this season with Covington. Castillo, the runner at first base following the error, and there's a 1-0 breaking ball that sits into the middle of the zone for strike one. Kyle has now had an error in 4 of his last 5 games and had 2 on Sunday against Covington. 2 of the 6 errors Charlottesville had in that game, but they were still able to find a way to come out on top.
Hey, errors usually kill you, but when you make up for it, man, is that an even better win.
And he has been doing that at the plate this year, and he had the strikeout in the first inning. But when Kyle makes an error, he does tend to put a couple hits together, and you could say balance it out. Swinging a foul tip for Luke Smith on the 2-1. Evens the count at 2. Luke, the right fielder for Covington. He redshirted this past season at Louisiana Tech as a true freshman. And yesterday against Newmarket, he was 1 for 4 with a strikeout in one of the 2 games between those 2 teams. Yesterday, there's a swing and a miss from Luke Smith, the first strikeout of the night for Perkins.
He did a great job of switching up his pitches that at bat.
Went to the off-speed on 2 strikes, gets Smith swinging. Would have been the 3rd out of the inning had it not been for the Edwards error. But now Ronciel Ventura will step into the batter's box. Another Lumberjack making his debut tonight. And there's a check over to Castillo at first base. Ventura, a rising junior at Lackawanna College, an Allentown, PA native, appeared in 19 games this season, hit .269 with 4 RBIs. And he takes the first pitch of the at-bat in the outside corner for strike one. Miranda began this inning with a ground out right back to Perkins. Then Castillo reaches on the error. And now we have a balk called by the home plate umpire, Shaner, moving Castillo up 90 feet. Haven't seen a whole lot of balks this season in the Valley League, and you don't really see it a whole lot at any level past high school, just due to the nature of pitchers getting more comfortable and knowing what and what isn't a balk.
That's a big call in favor of the Lumberjacks, as now they have a runner in scoring position.
So Castillo reaches first base on the error and then moves up to second base on a balk. And now Ventura with an RBI chance in his first at-bat with Covington. And Lyndon Coleman going out to check with the home plate umpire to see what that balk was about.
You got to give Coleman credit, always defending his players.
It's rare to see a balk anymore, but now it's rare to see a second one, so we'll likely see Perkins figure out whatever the problem was on that previous pitch. Castillo now at second, the 0-1 delivery, a beautiful slider on the outside corner, and Ventura did go around.
Getting ahead of him quick.
Robertson had the appeal in the field, and he calls the second strike, so an 0-2 count here to Ventura. Castillo at second. 0-2 from Perkins, goes right back to the slider. Ventura thought about it, pulls the bat back just in time for ball one. Once again, Ben Robertson in the field, Jeff Shaner behind home plate. Tom Sox fans getting into it here on Dolly Rocks the Sox night at CHO Airport Field. 1-2 from Perkins. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Alvarez will have to throw down to first to complete the K, and he does just that. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the top half of the second for Mark Perkins.
After not getting a strikeout in the first, comes back with clutch pitching even after the error by Edwards, able to get 2 straight strikeouts to end the top half of the inning. Your Tom Sox will be batting next.
Bottom of the second inning here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you. Henry Ford will lead off the bottom of the second for Charlottesville. He's in the DH spot tonight, still battling a little bit of residual from that thumb injury he suffered back in early June that kept him out for about 3 weeks.
In his small sample size through 7 games, he's batting .333 with 7 RBIs and a homer.
And just like that, first pitch he sees, he smacks it up the middle for a single. Hard hit grounder gets the job done for Ford. Gets his ninth hit of the season to put the leadoff man on for Hollis Porter. And Ford, no stranger to having success against Covington. 2 games this season against the Lumberjacks, 3 for 6 with a homer, a double, 2 RBI, and a walk. He makes it 4 for 7 with that single. First pitch to Porter's down low for a ball.
And make that Ford's first hit since the injury for the Tom Sox.
Yeah, he was hitting .500 in 4 games before that injury. Was 8 for 16, was 0 for 8 in 3 games since. 1-0 fastball, that's up in the zone, but in there for strike one. Hollis this season against Covington, 1 for 7 with 2 RBI. Overall in 19 games, he's hitting .246 with an on-base percentage just south of .400. Ford at first base, Havern will check. And that's actually how Ford got injured. He was sliding back into first base on a play just like that. On a pickoff attempt over to first base, he just caught that left thumb in a really bad spot.
Porter also enters this one with a 3-game hitting streak.
There's a swing and miss from Hollis. And we have a warning issued to the Covington bench. Not sure whether it was one of the players or the coaches, and we're going to have another slight delay here as Rennie Tolentino will come have a chat with Jeff Shaner behind home plate. Not sure if there was something said between the bench and Sanchez behind the plate, or from the bench and towards the home plate umpire, but a couple of strange delays here early in this one.
Not even fully 2 innings into this one.
Yeah, we had the 5-minute delay with Lennon Coleman fixing the batter's boxes, and now Tolentino out to talk with Shaner. There definitely was a warning issued.
That was an early warning.
Might have been a formal warning as well. Could have been to Sanchez if there was any dissension there behind the plate. Now Lennon Coleman out to talk with Shaner to see who got the warning and why.
Everyone wants to have their say.
Messy start without any runs so far between the Lumberjacks and the Tom Sox. Henry Ford on first, Hollis Porter at the plate. The 1-2 from Havern. Porter goes swinging. And there's out number 1. 3 straight strikes. Porter chases 2 straight. And there's 1 out with 1 on.
Connor Hinks hitting .245 with 12 hits through 49 at-bats and is also on a 4-game on-base streak, 3-game hitting streak.
Another check over with Ford at first base, but you're right, Gianni Hinks has had his struggles at times this season, but has really picked it up as of late. He's up to a .245 average, as you mentioned, on-base percentage up to .415, and his OPS just south of 700 at .680. It's a slider down and in on Hinks' feet that he'll take for a ball.
Through a small sample size versus Covington this season, he's 1 for 3 with 2 walks and a K.
Here's the 1-0 from Jacob Havern, way outside for ball 2. Ford, not much of a base stealing threat, hasn't attempted to swipe a bag this year. Was gotten on base quite a bit for the Tom Sox, had an on base percentage of .407. OPS was over 1 entering this one. 2-0 to Hinks, fastball catches the inside corner for a strike. Hinks thought it might have caught the chalk rather than the corner of the plate. Attack that on for strike 1, 2-1 the count. His Notre Dame teammate Brady Gumpf in the on-deck circle. Havern continues to make sure Ford isn't going anywhere. As Tom Sox team, as many of you know, steal a ton of bases. 91 already this season. That's second in team history. And we're just through 21 games. There's another fastball from Havern and another pitch missing on the outside. So put that count at 3-1.
As you mentioned with stolen bases, the 2023 Sox now on the top 3 stolen base days in team history, stealing 9 in Game 2 against Covington, 10 on June 9th at Harrisonburg, and 8 on June 18th.
As Hinks draws a walk, that'll put him on first base, Ford on second, with 1 away here in the bottom of the second. It's the 12th walk that Connor's drawn this season, setting up a really good opportunity for his teammate in South Bend, Brady Gumpf.
Tom Sox getting their first runner in scoring position.
Tom Sox are usually pretty good with runners in scoring position early in the game. A majority of the runs they've scored this season have come in innings 1, 2, or 3. Big spot here. First pitch to Gumpf is down low. Ball 1. Spiked a fastball. Gumpf, limited playing time this season, has only seen 11 games, 27 at-bats. He's hitting .185 with 3 RBI. .10 fastball comes in towards his belt and misses for ball 2. Gumpf has not started a game against Covington this season. He wasn't on the active roster for game number 1 between these two squads, and then on Sunday entered the game as a defensive replacement late in the game. Ford at second, Hinks at first. The 2-0 Baltimore chop, but foul. So 2-0 to 2-1 for Brady Gumpf after the single for Ford, the strikeout to Porter, and the walk to Hinks. Havern checks Ford, the 2-1 delivery, changeup missing in the dirt, and a 3-1 count. It seems like he's just having a little bit of trouble commanding all of his pitches here in the second inning.
Gump's taking advantage of that so far in this at-bat, working himself into a hitter's count.
3-1 the count to Brady Gumpf. The pitch, grounder to short. Ventura flips to Castillo at second for one. The throw to first is in time for an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. That's how you got to draw it up if you're the Lumberjacks, and they stick to the script. A little bit of trouble for Covington, but they get out of it. Still no score as we head to the top of the third. This is Tom Sox Baseball on Tom Sox TV. We're through two full here in Charlottesville. No score between Covington and Charlottesville. The Lumberjacks and the Tom Sox meeting for the third time this season, and we head to the top of the third here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz and Gianni Maltese with you here from CHO Airport Field. It's been an interesting game so far, not a whole lot of action. Both teams have had some chances at the plate. Both teams have had chances with runners in scoring position. Covington had a leadoff double from Kendry Noriega, who's in the on-deck circle right now. That's their lone hit of the ball game. And then in the bottom of the second for Charlottesville, they had Henry Ford on second with one away, and then Brady Gumpf grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. To put us right here right now, 0-1 count from Mark Perkins to the number 9 hitter, and the backstop for Covington, Victor Sanchez, who takes that pitch down low to even the count.
Perkins will be looking to do more of the same as he finished last top half of the inning with 2 straight strikeouts. Sanchez also is on a 4-game hitting streak and is 1-for-1 versus the Tom Sox this season in his small sample size of 4 games. He has a 4-game hitting streak.
Sanchez on a 2-hop to Edwards. He will make the play for out number 1 here in the third, making up for his blunder with one away in the second.
Batting for Covington, the center fielder, number 11.
Now back to the top of the lineup in Kendry Noriega. Mentioned he had that leadoff double to begin the ball game, the lone hit so far for Covington, and he was stranded at third base after getting there after the second hitter, Logan Braunschweig, grounded out to first. So he spent a couple minutes at third base where Greg Mello and Edinson Renteria both could not drive him in. And now he's already had 1-0 to Perkins in at-bat number 2. Two strikeouts through the first time through the lineup for Perkins. As that pitch comes in on Noriega, gets out of the way for ball 2. Gianni, when you look at what Perkins did that first time through the lineup, what'd you like?
I like that he was limiting how far the ball was going. A lot of ground outs, not too many balls getting into the outfield at all, really. 2 strikeouts. That's a good first time through the lineup, and he'll be looking to continue to do the same.
Third pitch was a ball inside, but you're absolutely right, Gianni. After that leadoff double, ground ball, foul out, ground ball, change inning, ground ball, that was an error, strikeout, strikeout. So inducing weak contact, hitting his spots where he needs to, and then executing on those 2 strike pitches at the end of the second inning really helped him out and get into a groove. 3-1 to Noriega. That slider misses down low, and for the second time, Kendry Noriega is going to reach base here against Mark Perkins.
Batting for Covington, left fielder number 3, Logan Braunschweig.
First walk issued tonight by Mark.
Noriega, not a huge threat to steal, as he only has 2 stolen bases on the season.
Continues to add to that on-base total, though. 403 entering the game. He's now gotten on base in both of his plate appearances tonight. He's on first base, 1 away for Logan Braunschweig. First pitch to him, outside for ball 1. It bounces out of the glove of Salvi Alvarez, but he's able to get it in time before Noriega can read it. Perkins can ask for a new baseball.
Unfortunate bounce there off the glove, but way to recover quickly there for Alvarez.
Salvi and KJ Alexander have been alternating playing time ever since Salvi got here, really. Also had Jake Bennett at the beginning part of the season. There's a ground ball to Williams that's past his diving glove and into right field for a base hit. Noriega showing off that sneaky speed. He will get into third base standing up. The second hit of the night for Covington will put runners on the corners.
Third baseman number 25, Greg Mello.
Williams did exactly what you have to do there, covering first base, stepping off the bag, diving, just couldn't get the glove out there, and he's a big dude. He's a really long wingspan.
He played that one perfectly, just didn't have enough room to make the play.
Perfectly placed baseball, not necessarily a hit and run, but works as one. And now an RBI chance for the number 3 hitter in Mello. Mello fouls that one off to begin the at-bat. He was the one who fouled out on the first pitch of the at-bat in the first inning to Derek Williams right in front of the Tom Sox dugout. And now with only 1 out, a chance to drive in the first run of the game. Braunschweig takes off, and there will be no throw from Alvarez. Defensive indifference there. Put runners on second and third now for Perkins. Wonder if they try to pitch around Mello with first base open, or trade in a run possibly for an out, or just go right after him and try and get the punch out. A lot of different options here for Perkins. Still early in this game for the Tom Sox, and if their offensive surge lately is any signal that they can put up runs late in games.
That's a big steal there, eliminating the opportunity for that quick double play to end the inning.
Noriega, the runner at third after the walk, and then after the Braunschweig single. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 strikes, 1-2 the count to Greg Mello. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the fist and foul right in front of the Lumberjack dugout. A lot of foul balls going in front of the dugouts tonight, it seems.
Really good movement on that pitch there, coming right into the batter.
Perkins has been extended this season, had a couple of 4-inning appearances with the Tom Sox. Over those 4 appearances, he's gone 13 in the third inning, so averaging about 3 1/3 per appearance. He's already threw 2 1/3 tonight, but in some trouble for the second time tonight. 1-2, that ball in front of Alvarez. Good job by the former Florida Gator, to stay in front of that one. Alvarez spent his freshman season with the Gators, redshirted, and then will be at a new home next season. Entered his name into the transfer portal, as did a lot of fellow Tom Sox players. 2-2 the count, and there's a swing and a miss from Greg Mello. Big strikeout for Mark Perkins, his third of the night.
He went to the off-speed again for that put-away pitch. Crucial pitch there for the Tom Sox. Now there's 2 outs, but still base runners on second and third.
All 3 strikeouts tonight for Perkins have come in swinging fashion. You got Luke Smith, Ranciel Ventura, and Greg Mello now to go down on strikes. And the final chance potentially for Covington here in this inning is Edinson Renteria. He skies one to right center. Hollis Porter camping under it. He makes the catch for out number 3. Covington puts runners on second and third with 1 away, but Mello strikes out and Renteria flies out to get Perkins out of a jam. Still no score as we head to the bottom of the third here between Covington and Charlottesville on Tom Sox TV. Salvi Alvarez leading off the bottom of the third inning here for the Tom Sox. No score between Covington and Charlottesville. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you tonight. Charlottesville in the middle of a big homestand.
This is his first plate appearance versus Covington on the season.
The first pitch in this at-bat is inside for ball 1. The 1-0 to Alvarez is outside for ball 2. Tom Sox 2-0 on the homestand now, as there's a foul ball nearly took the legs off of Sergio Rivera in the on-deck circle. He's got to be keeping his head on a swivel there. He almost got taken out.
That's not the first time that's happened this game. The ball's going right over to their own players.
And there's a pitch down low for ball 3 to Salvi. Salvi this season, limited action. He's only played in 7 games, hitting 176. And that pitch nearly hits him in the head, but he gets out of the way, and he reaches on a leadoff walk, just the 4th walk he's drawn this season.
A little bit of a stare down after that one came close to his head.
Now Sergio Rivera comes out to chicken dance.
Nothing better.
I've been told he did not actually want this to be his walk-up song, but one of his teammates was able to get it to be the case as he takes the first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Not exactly sure how that played out, but seems like Sergio stuck with it, didn't ask for it to be changed.
He's
pretty interesting.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Can take a joke. Alvarez at first base. Sergio squares to bunt, but it drills him in the chest. Sergio was able to pull the bat back too. That's the most important part of that play. You could get hit with the bunt, but if your bat's still square, that's a strike. He was able to pull it back just in time and just took that ball right on the rib.
He was also able to pull his bat out of the way. A lot of times you see it counts as a foul instead of getting onto first base. But that's the first 2 base runners here in the bottom of the 3rd, reaching base for the Tom Sox. And Sergio Rivera continues his success against Covington as he's 3 for 4 with 2 walks now.
Lennon Coleman preaches taking what the defense and what the pitchers from the opposing team give you. And that's exactly what they've done all season long. And here in this 3rd inning, that could be the case. A leadoff walk, then a hit by pitch, putting 2 runners on for the leadoff man in Kyle Edwards. Kyle squares to bunt, pulls back, and that pitch misses outside for ball 1.
I know earlier you mentioned kind of a balancing act with Kyle Edwards when he has an error, especially a throwing error. He usually gets it going with the bat. Let's see what he can do here with a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And in that game on Saturday between Covington and Charlottesville, Kyle actually had the game-winning single. That was a safety squeeze on a bunt. Squares down again, this one on the chalk, but then tails foul along the first base side, and that'll even the count at 1-1. But the bunt he laid on Saturday to win the game in the 9th inning was similar spot right down the first base line. Bunted to perfection, and looks like he's going to try and do the same thing here to sacrifice himself to move those runners over. Kyle squares again, pops this one up, and Miranda able to make the catch. And seems like there was just some dissension between the lack of communication between Miranda and Hayburn. Ball is caught for out number 1. Kyle unable to lay down the bunt like he did on Saturday against the Lumberjacks.
That's an unfortunate at-bat with an unproductive at-bat there for Kyle Edwards.
So it'll go down as a pop out to the pitcher, Hayburn. And now Bryce Martinez steps into the box. Unlikely to see a bunt as there's a swinging bunt. Miranda tries to go to second and then goes back to first, but Martinez out by just half of a step. Really interesting play there off the very end of the bat for Bryce Martinez. Miranda had no chance to get the speedy Rivera at second base. Not knowing the runner, that can be crucial at a play like that, because if Martinez reaches, that's going to go down as a single and loading the bases for Williams, but instead get the out, trade the runners, and move them over, which is exactly what Kyle was trying to do the at-bat before. And now Derek Williams steps up, 2 away.
Good at bat there by Martinez, forcing him into a play, and nearly got away with getting a single on that one.
Would have been a mental error for sure for Gabe Miranda. As Narco plays over the loud system for Derek Williams. Runners on second and third, 2 away here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Derek ended the bottom of the 1st with a ground out to second. So Salvi Alvarez, the runner at 3rd. Sergio Rivera at 2nd. After the ground out for Martinez, Derek Williams, a big opportunity here to drive in a couple of runs, would be the first runs of the night for either team. First pitch breaking ball grounded to the shortstop, Ventura. He will throw to first, and there is out number 3. Tom Sox had a golden opportunity. Runners on first and second with nobody out, but can't get anybody to cross home plate. No score as we head to the top of the 4th. I'll hand the play-by-play duties over to my partner Gianni Maltese. On the other side of this break, Covington 0, Charlottesville 0 on Tom Sox TV.
Gabe Miranda, the first baseman, will lead things off
Leading
here
off
for the
Covington,
Lumberjacks.
First baseman number 18, Gabriel Miranda.
Grounded out in his first plate appearance. Swinging strike for strike one there. Perkins has been able to get ahead of most batters, and that's been proven crucial so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting ahead of hitters is the name of the game. If you're a starting pitcher, it's going to allow you to get more depth into the game, and not only that, gives you a better spot the second time through the lineup as we're seeing here.
That one's able to find the gap between Gumpf and Rivera. And Miranda easily gets into second.
Saw he almost had that mental blunder in the bottom half of the third when he tried to go to second, then had to sprint over to first to get Martinez, but starts off the fourth with a bang, opposite field double.
We were talking about Kyle Edwards hopefully doing that last top half of the inning. Well, Miranda does just that and almost had a mental lapse and comes out and gets a double.
And it actually was the second time this game where Covington's led off the inning with an extra base hit.
Still zeros on the board. Tom Sox were able to get out of that one. The leadoff double. Showing bunt, throwing back to second, checking on him. Actually a really close call, but he's in there safely.
Salvi and Kyle were on the same page on that play. Squaring to bunt, Kyle was trailing behind Miranda, ready for the back pick in case he got a secondary lead, and Salvi read it too. Bang, bang play. Thought he could have been called out, but at this stage, never know on a play like that, as looks like Castillo's definitely going to try and sacrifice.
Castillo did reach on an error in his first plate appearance. Makes count 1-1.
Miranda, not a ton of speed as well. Only the one stolen base on the year. Might see something where he takes off and they try to lay down a sacrifice bunt as well.
Went up straight away for that one and missed it. That'll be 1-2. Good pitch there by Perkins, off speed. How do you think he's mixed his pitches up so far, Nathan?
I think he's done a really good job. That sliders, he's been going to 2 strikes a lot. He's been heavy fastball early in the count. I'd like to see that slider a little more on the first couple pitches.
And he got him swinging. That's his 4th strikeout, all of them swinging.
And that's exactly what he's been doing all night long. He went to the fastball there rather than the slider, but to a left-handed hitter. That 2-seam fastball for him tailing away from the hitter. Whether it's made contact or not, if it's contact, it's going to be a weak ground ball to the left side, or Hanks and Edwards are great fielders, or you're going to get him to swing and miss. And right there, he got him to miss.
In his 4th game started, he's already reached 24 strikeouts.
And just looking at the game log for him, each outing he's thrown more and more. Started with 2 innings in his first appearance, then 3 innings, then 4 innings, then 4 1/3 in that last appearance we mentioned earlier against Stanton on June 29th. So he's really settled into a groove here. Had some trouble in that first inning with the double, trouble in the 3rd inning with runners on first and third with 1 out, and now another leadoff double. Even though he's had a lot of trouble, he's been able to work out of it and prove to Lyndon Coleman why he should be staying in this game longer.
Escaping the jams are a crucial way to stay in the game even longer, and he's doing just that thus far. Good pitch in there. 0-2 count, getting ahead of him early.
And there's that changeup. Has similar movement to the 2-seam fastball, a little slower. Looks the same out of the hand. That's why that pitch can be so deceptive and challenging, especially to a left-handed hitter.
And he's definitely not afraid to use it.
Absolutely not.
Let's see what his payoff pitch is here. Just an awkward swing there, but he's able to stay in the box with a foul.
And he went right back to the changeup. 0-2 pitch. You can really throw any pitch anywhere you want. High heat usually is where pitchers like to go, or maybe their best breaking ball down and in. Right there he went to the off-speed where he saw a swing and a miss from on the 0-1 delivery, so he just left it up a little bit, and that's why Smith was able to get the bat head on it. Another interesting pitch here, because he could go back to that changeup down and out again, or he could throw either of his other 2 pitches anywhere in the zone.
just missing there on the outside corner, making it 1-2.
Kept the same spot, but went back to the fastball. Similar movement, same spot, comes in quicker. Maybe thought he could get Smith to freeze.
Pitch coming in. Low end gets away from Alvarez, as Miranda will get to third easily. Another runner on third for the Lumberjacks.
That's the danger with throwing that breaking ball in the dirt. You never know what could happen. Could take a bad bounce off of the dirt. A lot of these guys play on artificial surfaces where you get a more predictable hop. But right here with the dirt and the repainted chalk, a lot of extra elements there. You never know where the ball could bounce.
Infield coming in for the 2-2 count with 1 out. And able to get there. Perfectly placed pitch. Second strikeout in a row, and for the 5th one, this time his first strikeout looking.
Backdoor slider, one of the best pitches you could throw in all of baseball to either hitter. Lefty batter there, he goes to the outside corner with the slider. It starts in the right-handed batter's box and then comes in on the edge of the plate, and that's why that pitch is so good, and he pitched it to perfection right there.
Through 2 plate appearances, that was his second strikeout for Smith. Able to come in, Rivera makes the play. Still zeros to the board, and Perkins is able to escape the jam yet again. 0-0 will be going to the bottom of the 5th. Tom Sox TV with Nathan Schwartz and Gianni Maltese.
Covington, nothing. Hitter number 5.
Henry Ford has the lone hit so far for the Tom Sox. He saw the first pitch and he swung at it, was able to get a single out of it.
Yeah, hard ground ball right up the middle. Perfect timing, as you would say in MLB The Show. Perfect. Drove it right into the ground, but was able to get a base hit out of it.
Was fooled a little bit there on the pitch by Havern. Well located. Makes count 0-1. Good eye, 1-1.
A little bit of a uncharacteristic outing for Jacob Havern in a good way. He's only gone more than 3 innings once this season. That was back on June the 6th at Waynesboro when he went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, but in his other 3 starts, he's only gone an inning and a third twice, and then 2 2/3 in his last start on the 30th at Purcellville. So the fact that he's working into the 4th inning here is a really promising sign for Covington.
Both pitchers really going the distance so far. That one's definitely out of play.
That foul ball was sponsored by Taylor's Auto Body.
Hit that one. Braunschweig gets that to first, and Miranda's able to get that, and that is the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
Batting for your Tom Sox right fielder, number 9.
Ford just couldn't get the hands
Porter.
quick around on that one. Two-seam fastball on the inside for Hayburn, up and in, and just caught off the handle of the bat. Not quite the handle, but more towards the lower part of the lumber. Easy play for the third baseman, Mello.
That's first pitch strike. Porter will definitely be trying to get a different result in this at bat as he struck out in his first plate appearance. Way outside, 1-1.
And Hollis has gotten on base quite a bit this season. Coming in, had a .395 on base percentage, .690 OPS, but he does lead the team in strikeouts with 20. So a little bit of that balancing act. Gets on base a lot with the walk and gets a good amount of hits, but also when he doesn't get on base, it tends to be a strikeout.
Big 1-2 count coming with 1 out. You could hear that one up here. That did not look pretty.
Yeah, I can't tell what that hit, whether it was his wrist or the elbow guard.
It definitely looked like the elbow guard.
Could have been, I mean, it was a loud crack. If it wasn't the elbow guard, that would be really concerning. But I think it was the elbow guard, just that shock going from the elbow guard all the way down to the wrist, because he came up holding that wrist.
Yeah, that does not feel good. Nonetheless, we have a base runner at first.
I was just talking about how he gets on base. Just the second time he's been hit by a pitch this year. But good teams find ways to get runners on base. It's the strategy that worked for the 2002 Oakland Athletics in Moneyball style. It's a great movie, by the way. Do you have a favorite baseball movie?
It's Moneyball.
It's Moneyball. Yeah,
it's a beautiful movie.
Moneyball is good. Rookie of the Year is pretty good. Little Big League.
Sports movies are my favorite by far. Connor Hanks digs in, walked in his first plate appearance. Swung through that one. 0-1 count.
Also can't talk about baseball movies without mentioning The Sandlot, also Major League. Another one of my personal favorites.
Sandlot's a good one.
You know, just had the 4th of July yesterday, too, so fitting with a Sandlot reference.
That one's outside.
Tom Sox used to play against Waynesboro on the 4th of July, moved that to the day before the 4th so the teams could have the off day. And it turned out to be a great day yesterday, good weather. A good day to bring families together and celebrate America's birthday.
Just able to hold up there.
Hinks on Monday against Waynesboro in that July 4th Eve game was 1 for 3 with an RBI. Drove in one of 13 runs for the Tom Sox.
Haven able to pop him up. Mello's coming in for it and able to make the grab. Brady Gump now digging in. Hit into a 6-4-3 double play in his last plate appearance.
He hit 244 and 82 at-bats with the Fighting Irish this spring. Did not play on Monday against Waynesboro. Another chance for him to increase his average and on-base percentage this season. Average coming in was 185 on base percentage and a clip of 281.
Checking on Porter at first and just gets in there safely. Closer play than it needed to be.
Yeah, Victor Sanchez really did a good job there on the back pick. Porter had a really big secondary lead, and Sanchez recognized that in the previous batter and snapped right back to first. Porter has really long arms, so able to get back in there pretty easily.
Porter read it a little late, but with those long arms was able to get in there safely. 1-0 pitch. Outside again. 2-0. Havern trying to get through the fourth. Gets a strike called. Works himself back into the count a little bit.
It's always good to get a 2-0 take if you're a pitcher, because 2-0's the count and 3-1 as well, where you're going to have to throw one over the plate so you don't get down 3-0 or the walk. And so if you get a take instead of an aggressive swing, it's always a good sign.
Porter's going into second. Takes advantage of that wild pitch and gets there safely.
Definitely a good read there for Porter. You can tell he's being aggressive with those secondary leads. As soon as that ball hit the dirt and got a little bit away from Sanchez behind the plate, he was taken off.
And just like you said, he's worked himself into another hitter's count here. We'll see if he takes this one. He did not, and that one's fouled off to make it a full count.
That foul ball was sponsored by Greenwood Homes. And a reminder, fans, return foul balls to the concession stand for a big surprise.
3-2. Play. Foul.
Big full count pitch here for Havern. Probably going to see him go back to that fastball, try and keep it on the outer edge of the plate.
It's been what's working for him so far. Full count, 2 outs. Havern trying to get out of this one. Struck him out and threw it Sanchez to Miranda, and that one was unable to get any hits. And we will be going to the top of the fifth here on Tom Sox TV, 0-0. Ryan Lynch entering the game here for the Tom Sox. His last appearance was on June 29th versus the Stanton Braves. He got credited for the win on 2 2/3, 1 hit, 0 runs, and 3 Ks. And the line for Perkins was 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 5 Ks.
Definitely up there for one of his better outings, if not his best outing of the season. Worked out of a lot of trouble, pretty much had a jam in every inning, especially in that first and third inning in particular, but able to work out of all of them.
Both pitchers actually able to escape jams so far.
And somebody that's done a really good job of not creating jams for himself has been Ryan Lynch. Personally, if there was a Tom Sox midseason Cy Young Award, it would go to Ryan Lynch. He has my vote. You look at these stats, 10 and a third innings, 13 strikeouts, only 2 walks, 3 hits given up. He's been the definition of consistent and reliable so far this season. Only made 4 appearances, but in those 4 appearances, he's been lights out.
He's been clutch when he's needed to be.
Exactly.
Jam Vasquez there. Sanchez, excuse me.
Vasquez, Sanchez.
Thinking Victor and Vasquez came out.
You combined the two and created another name.
It's what I do. Big 0-2 count. His first batter faced and gets him swinging. Really good pitch there by Lynch.
That's what he's been doing all season long. You look at his stats with Notre Dame this season compared to what he's done in Charlottesville. He only threw 10 and a third innings in 14 appearances with Notre Dame this year. He comes here to Charlottesville. Lennon Coleman gives him a little bit longer of a leash. He has more experience than some of these other pitchers. He's going to be a rising senior at Notre Dame, and he's been really impressive, matching the same amount of innings, but having a lot more production.
Kendry Noriega now digs in, has reached base both times. Let's see what ideas Lynch has for him. 0-1 count. Really good breaking pitch there. That one looked as if almost it was about to hit him. Evens the count, one's across the board.
Noriega, another player in this lineup that had a really successful college season. He started 48 of the 50 games he played in with St. Thomas. He hit .328, slugged .533, and got on base at a .463 clip. Had 8 homers to his name, 36 runs driven in, and swiped 20 bags, something that Covington really hasn't used him in that regard, getting that extra 90 feet going from first to second or second to third, but he has that capability.
And we saw that when he was rounding second and went to third. That's that sneaky speed. Did he get him to go around? Ump says no, he did not. Evens the count at 2. Definitely looked like he went around up here, but the ump says no.
It's one of the tougher things to see from this angle behind home plate where we're at, because the plane, it's really tough to tell whether they barely move the bat or whether they throw it across that plane where the swing is constituted.
Well, it doesn't matter because Lynch gets him anyways. 2 batters faced and another strikeout.
That time in the looking fashion, one swinging, one looking. Make that 15 strikeouts so far in 11 innings for Ryan Lynch this season.
Logan Braunschweig now comes in, 1 for 2 with a ground out and a single. Hits that one right to Martinez and gets it into Williams to retire the order. 1, 2, 3. We'll be going to the bottom of the 5th here. 0-0, Tom Sox TV.
Leading off for your Tom Sox, the catcher, number 18, Salvi Alvarez.
Alvarez now digging in. Got a walk in his first plate appearance. You just can't not love that walk-up song.
Absolutely. Gets good vibes going. I was ready to dance.
So were some people in the stands
Yeah.
getting up. Nonetheless, 1-0. It's a called strike, 101. Havern back in this one to start the top of the fifth. Advantage goes to Alvarez. 2-1.
Havern's really impressed me in this game, continuing to battle inning after inning. He's really done a good job of working himself out of trouble as well, as Perkins did.
Evens the count. Impressive starts all around, really. Makes that one a full count. Struck him out with the really good full count pitch for his fourth strikeout of the day.
Batting for your Tom Sox center fielder,
Saw
number 14,
Perkins with the
Sergio
backdoor slider.
Rivera.
That's a backdoor curveball right there for Jacob Havern. Started at the top of the zone with the shoulders, then drops right in to the inside part of the plate, middle. Salvi thought it was a bit inside, was ready to trot down to first, but now he's retired, and Sergio Rivera steps in.
Starts him off with a ball. It seemed as if he was getting ready to run to first and then curved his run a little bit to go to the dugout.
Rerouting.
That one's fouled off. That was a good cut there.
Nice souvenir for the Woods. Get a lot of those here at CHO Airport Field. Anything that goes to the right side, or either directly behind home plate or to the right side, is going to be into the Woods. Only real chances to retrieve a foul ball is if it goes to the left side.
Getting really close there to hitting Rivera. And no one's going to be able to get that one. Miranda went chasing for it.
Sponsored by Greenwood Homes.
2-2.
Again, fans, all retrieved foul balls returned to the concession stand. You can exchange them for a big prize. So retrieve those foul balls and return them to the concession stand.
Big payoff pitch coming here from Havern. That one misses, and another full count.
That's a really tough pitch to lay off of if you Rivera. 2-2 slider on the outside part of the plate. He was watching that pitch as long as you could before making a decision. You could tell he was leaning a little bit towards the plate, seeing the ball as long as he could, was able to lay off of it.
Oh, he was thinking about it. And he swings through that one. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Havern.
Batting for your Tom Sox.
Getting back to the top of the order for the Tom Sox.
Kyle Edwards.
Kyle Edwards.
And this is shaping up to be Havern's best start so far this season. He's about to, if he can get this last out in the fifth, he'll match his season high with 5 innings, and he's given up at least 1 earned run in every game so far he's pitched in, and also has allowed at least 2 hits. And he's only given up that 1 hit so far, which Henry Ford had leading off the second.
Exactly right. It really is a great outing for both pitchers, but he's really starting to go the distance. Pitch count in good shape, escaping the jams, and this inning, he's just on cruise control.
Tom Sox averaging about a base runner an inning. They're just not able to stack anything. They had their golden opportunity in that 3rd inning with the 2 leadoff men on and nobody out, but then had the pop out for Edwards on the attempt of a sacrifice bunt, ground out to for Martinez, and then another ground out for Derek Williams.
Edwards works himself into a 3-0 count. We'll see if he gets the green light. He watches that one for a strike. Still a hitter's count here, 3-1. Good cut, but unable to get good wood on that one. Full count.
And Kyle always battles back in these type of counts. He's going to extend the at-bat. He's got a really good eye, and he likes to put a lot of balls into the outfield in these counts.
That one's hit hard. Braunschweig's going after it. And it's gone for a Tom Sox home run and the first run of the ball game. And exactly like we said, Kyle Edwards, baby, making up for it. What are your thoughts, Nathan?
And that's exactly what I was just alluding to. He likes to get pitches to hit late in these counts, and he's got sneaky power. His second home run of the season, he had one in Front Royal a couple weeks ago. Now drives his first one out at CHO Airport Field as a Tom Sock. He didn't have a home run last year in his time in Charlottesville. Now has 2 this season, and what a perfect way to get the night going offensively than a Kyle Edwards bomb.
He was definitely known last season more for his defensive abilities, winning defensive player. And now this year, he's just swinging away. And man, that home run swing. You could tell right off the bat that had pop. Martinez trying to do the same thing there.
There's a hanging breaking ball, middle. Kyle was sitting on it, saw it all the way through from the hand to the plate. And that's his power pitch. Breaking ball, middle. He got it and didn't waste it.
And that one looks like it's going to fall, and it is. Bryce Martinez digging out for 2. Close play at second and gets in there safely. Interesting decision to round first there, but it pays off as another runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The Tom Sox are hitting away.
Well, Trey Smith wasted no time waving him to go to second base. He got a really good read on that pitch right as it went down the right field line into that corner, and it was a really good route to the baseball from Luke Smith in right field. Had a really good throw into second base as well on a one-hop, but Martinez took an interesting turn towards second base and was able to get the top right corner of the bag and slide that left hand in there safely.
His speed is evident as he does have 12 stolen bases on the year.
And you can see he's jumping a little bit over there at second base, making Havern think a little bit as to whether he's going to try and pick him off at second. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and take third on the first pitch.
Well, the Tom Sox strike first. Let's see if they can tack on more. It's outside, 1-0 count. Swings right through that one. Really good cut. Talking about pop. Enter Derek Williams. Evens the count, 1-1.
Another guy who could easily hit this one out of the park and give the Tom Sox an even bigger advantage here in the 5th.
And that one also hits his elbow. Derek Williams will take first base as Henry Ford, who at one point had the lone hit for the Tom Sox. Now things have changed a little bit here.
Interesting, we've seen 2 batters get hit on the elbow guard tonight of all places. That's why it's there for that protection. And that's now, I believe, the 3rd time that a Tom Sox hitter has been hit. That is true. Rivera was hit back in the 3rd, and Hollis was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and now Williams here in the 5th. And I was talking in the last inning about Tom Sox need to start stacking runs and stacking base runners even, not even necessarily runs, and they've done that here. You're already at 2 outs, full count delivery to Edwards down to your final strike in the inning, and he blasts one over the fence, and hitting is contagious. Martinez, first pitch he sees, he drives down the right field line for extra bases. Williams works the count a little bit, takes one off the elbow, and now Ford, who's already seeing the ball well tonight, another chance to drive in a run.
All it takes is that one momentum shift, and Edwards came up crucial here so far for the Tom Sox. That one gets in bouncing, but lands. Luckily, Martinez going to third. Another close call. This time he is called out. For the 3rd out, we'll be going to the top of the 6th. The Tom Sox are able to get on the board. The score reads 1-0. Tom Sox TV. We'll be back.
Baseman, Greg Mello.
Greg Mello leading things off for the Lumberjacks. Struck out and fouled out. This will be his third plate appearance. Lynch back on the mound for the Tom Sox. Nasty pitch there. That was gross. 0-1 count.
Ryan Lynch has had a lot of gross and nasty pitches in a good way so far this season for the Tom Sox.
Oh, in the best way possible. You just cannot predict that.
Another filthy pitch right there.
That was. Just missing the strike zone. Evens the count at 1. That one's fouled off.
That foul ball was sponsored
And
by
Lynch,
Greenwood
he's got a
Homes.
really good repertoire. Slider, curveball, fastball. We just saw all three right there.
He's keeping them guessing.
Yeah, he's got really good command of each of them, and that's really what's been good for him this season is he hasn't, no hitters really been catching up to any of them.
And strikes him out. 8th strikeout of the day combined by the Tom Sox pitching staff.
There's that looping curveball coming from the left side in towards a right-handed hitter and Mello right on the hands. No shot he's going to be able to hit that unless he sees it right out of the hand, which he did.
Mello definitely did not read that one exactly right. And that one's hit foul.
Hey, getting over.
Oh, 1 count. Pitch coming in. Swung right through that one. You were on cue, man. Ryan Lynch, just Mr. Clutch, comes in here and does his job.
That's exactly what he's been doing all season long. I keep going back to all season long. Well, that's really just been the case. There's been no weak spot in his game on the mound this season.
Renteria strikes out. 2 strikeouts to start this top half of the 6th inning.
That breaking ball is so deceptive. He does a great job of tunneling the pitch, and that's just it's keeping it from where the hitters can see the pitch, and really just his repertoire of that fastball to the breaking ball. And when you tunnel, you're not going to be able to differentiate a whole lot.
Miranda enters this at bat. 1 for 2 with a ground out and a double. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Just missing there. Ball 1 called.
Miranda ground out to the pitcher back in the 2nd and then led off the 4th with a double.
Same exact spot, just missing again. Miranda has the advantage here, 2-0. Good pitch and good read by Miranda. 2-1 with 2 outs.
Johnny, you're a Yankees fan. I'm an Orioles fan. We're keeping an eye on the Orioles-Yankees game right now. Yankees lead 1-0. A big series in the AL East race right there. At least for 2nd place in the AL East. The Rays are just blowing everybody out of the water.
The Rays are just there. They're in 1st. The Yankees and Orioles battling the place. The Yankees were 4 games behind, cutting that deficit to 2, looking to get another win to make it 1 game back from 2nd place in the AL East, fighting for that wild card spot. Pitch comes in and just misses, makes the count 3-1.
Big day for Orioles fans. Colton Cowser, 1st-round pick in 2021 from Sam Houston, making his major league debut tonight.
Yeah, most people don't know who that is. You know, you look at the Yankees, and we have Anthony Volpe, who's been popping off since eating chicken parm with Austin Wells. That one reads ball 4 as Miranda works himself a walk, and Castillo comes to bat with an error and a strikeout in his first 2 plate appearances.
Who knew chicken parm could do anybody so good?
He is Italian, and we like our chicken parm.
I was about to say, and so are you.
Yes, I am. That one misses inside. 1-0.
Just a rare walk issued there by Lynch, getting back to the baseball game we're actually at right now. Just only had 2 walks entering this inning, or I should say entering this appearance for him. And not going to walk a whole lot of batters, so good plate discipline by Miranda to get on first.
Honestly, not going to really allow many base runners, period.
Right.
So the Lumberjacks will be more than happy to get a runner on first. Strike one called, 2-1 count.
I think there's an interesting development going on in this Orioles-Yankees game right now. There was an error by Gunnar Henderson, and I think he overthrew the first baseman and hit somebody in the camera well. That's what I've been able to gather so far from my limited research.
I'm glad I didn't interrupt because I did not know that's where that sentence was about to go. I was going to say, of course it's an error.
So there's an on-field delay right now. I'm not watching a stream or anything. I'm just keeping a quick eye on it. Well, keeping an eye on what Ryan Lynch is doing on the mound right now.
Struck him out.
Making him look silly there.
That was a great pitch and 3 strikeouts in the inning. Getting through the walk there was Ryan Lynch. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0. Tom Sox leading. Tom Sox TV, we'll be back. Henry Ford leads things off for the Tom Sox as he was at bat in the last bottom half of the inning, but Martinez was unable to get to third, so he gets another chance at an at-bat.
It's always interesting when you you start an at-bat in one inning and have to go reset and then come back in the beginning of the next inning and have another at-bat essentially, and that's exactly what Ford's going to do right here.
Tyler Monzon did appear on July 1st versus the Tom Sox. Only was able to get 1 out, allowed 3 hits and 2 earned runs with 0 strikeouts.
Only made 2 appearances this season with Covington.
That one is fouled out of play.
It's fair to say he struggled. He's gone an inning and a third between the 2 appearances, giving up 7 earned runs on 7 hits. Has walked 4. Opponents are hitting .636 against him. So in a 1-0 game right now, between Charlottesville and Covington. Going to be crucial for Monzon to get those struggles and put them behind him, because Covington's going to need him to keep it close right here.
Ford gets himself on base for the second time and works himself a walk. Havern's line was 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and as of now, he is credited with the loss, but we still have a lot more ball game to go.
Yeah, would be credited with the loss. Mark Perkins would get the win in this scenario. Summer baseball is a little different with pitch counts and all that. It's really up to the discretion of the manager saying that he went the correct amount that he was supposed to go. So really it's kind of a guessing game as to who's going to get the win, but if this score holds and Covington doesn't ever tie the game up, it would be a Mark Perkins victory. But a lot of baseball left to say, as you mentioned, Gianni.
David Wiley now batting in place of Hollis Porter, who was hit by the pitch in his last at-bat.
Hollis went into the on-deck circle, but you could tell, even when he was running the bases after getting hit by the pitch, that he was in a lot of pain, and he still was holding that wrist. So interesting to see that he's no longer in the baseball game.
That one's popped up and fouled out of play.
Wiley's been a really nice addition to this Tom Sox lineup. He's been on the active roster most of the season, didn't get any at-bats until about a week or so in.
He is on a 3-game hitting streak, and versus Covington this season, he is 2 for 4 with an RBI, a walk, and a stolen base. Just missing. Monzon laughs that one off. 2-2 count.
And overall for David this year, 279 average and 43 at-bats over 15 games, 3 RBIs.
Swings right through that one and goes to first. Ford is able to get there in time.
Batting for your Tom Sox, third baseman, number 30.
Now batting, Connor Hinks.
Really big first out there for Monzon. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. He's got natural tail on his fastball coming from the left side, more of a sidearm delivery as well. So that just ran off the outside edge of the plate and got Wiley swinging.
Strike one called on Hinks.
Let's go here.
Some supporters here at CHO Airport Field cheering on their Tom Sox.
Get on!
1-1. Another lefty on lefty matchup here.
Get on.
2-1 count. 1 out. Ford at first for the Tom Sox.
Let's go.
4-6-3 double play there to end the inning for the Lumberjacks. Could not draw that one up any better. Still 1-0, Tom Sox in the lead, and I will be handing off the play-by-play duty to Nathan Schwartz to start the top of the 7th. Tom Sox TV, we'll be back. So you will not be hearing from Nathan as Gianni did not want to give up his mic. One more inning.
Exactly. One more inning. You'll get the 7th. I'll close us out with the 8th and the 9th.
Fair trade.
Fair trade. Good doing business with you, Gianni.
Everyone's happy.
And you brought the good luck with the Kyle Edwards home run, so it's only fair you get more chances on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly right, my man.
Pinch hitting for Covington. From UL Monroe, number 31, Shanar Brown.
Pinch hitter, Shanar Brown, now digging up to the plate for Luke Smith. Strike one called.
Now playing right field for your Tom Sox, David Wiley.
There's that looping breaking ball again for Ryan Lynch. Really just impossible to hit right now.
No one's seeing it well out of the hands. Another amazing pitch. 0-2 count. Going after the pinch hitter quick.
Look at what Shanar Brown's been able to do this season with Covington. 235 average over 6 games. Did have a big 2-run double against the Tom Sox on Saturday.
That one's way high to make the count 1-2.
This game flying by Gianni.
Yes, as I showed the Apple Watch. Breaking the unwritten rule. Apologies to everyone listening. That one's fouled off.
The Tom Sox have had a lot of quick finishes this year, around the 2.5-hour mark, and looks like we're on pace for another one of those. We talked in the pregame about how the Tom Sox offense has been unstoppable as of late, but tonight it's been the pitchers that have not allowed anything to happen for Covington.
Doesn't even need to check. Yes, he did. He went around. Strikes him out.
6 strikeouts now for Lynch, and it's been 3 separate back-to-back situations. He had struck out the first 2 batters in the 5th, again got the ground out to end the inning, struck out the first 2 batters in the 6th, then issued a walk to Gabe Miranda, then struck out Castillo to end the 6th, and then struck out Shanar Brown to begin the 7th.
Some action in the Tom Sox bullpen as Little is warming up. Swings right through that one.
And with Little, that's another guy that could get the mid-season Cy Young for Charlottesville. If it was up to me, those would be the top 2 guys on my list.
Did not go around there.
Gabe. Good play.
About as perfect as you can get for Little so far, who recently committed to Virginia Tech. And that one's in there. 1-2 count.
Whether it's that fastball, slider, curveball, no matter what pitch it is, every pitch has seemed to find some location of the plate, inside, outside, up in the zone, down in the zone. Goes fastball in right there, setting up perfectly for that slider or curveball on the outside part.
And another one, they just do not know what to expect as Salvi Alvarez gets that one to Williams. And another strikeout, the 12th total strikeout by the pitching staff of the Tom Sox. What do you think's going right, Nathan?
They're just executing. The pitch sequencing has been phenomenal. I just alluded to the fact that Lynch could go set up with that fastball on the inside part of the plate for the second strike, then had the ability to go off speed on the outer edge of the plate, and that's exactly what he did. Went back to the slider on that 1-2 pitch, and Ventura had no idea where that pitch was going, it seems, setting up for that 7th strikeout of the night for Lynch.
Just missing on that one as Victor Sanchez comes to plate. 0 for 2 with a strikeout victim himself.
Only 8 outs retired by Lynch tonight, 7 strikeouts.
That's about as good of a line as you can get. And hey, he did win Nathan Schwartz midseason award.
You know, I think it's very well deserved now that I think we're going to have a midseason awards podcast coming on the podcast tomorrow, hosted by Ben Rikosh, and that should be out around midday, between 12 and 1. So I'm not going to be on the podcast.
I will this time.
There you go. And you could give my submission to the board, throw my opinion out there, but I think everybody that's watching and listening tonight can see why that might be somebody that I would vote for midseason Cy Young. I mean, 7 strikeouts through 2 2/3 innings. That's unbelievable.
Especially also Jordan Little. Can't forget about him.
Right.
Just as good. It's crazy. Impeccable. That's called strike 1. Makes count 2-1.
Weird time tonight. Lynch has had to work behind an account, or back from a 1-0, 2-0 count, and then throw in a strike or two to get back even. He's been really good with the first pitch strike.
Called that one a ball. 3-1. We'll see how he works back into the count, mixing up his pitches and big pitch here. Able to get that one in there. Beautiful looking pitch. 3-2. We'll see what his put away pitch is here. Looking for his 8th strikeout of the afternoon. Just nasty, unfair pitches really by Lynch. Another one as he gets Sanchez to swing. And see, I did get his name right that time.
There you go.
Tom Sox 1, Covington nothing. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th. Tom Sox TV. Brady Gump now batting for the Tom Sox. Monzon still pitching for the Lumberjacks.
A nice double play to end the 6th for him.
That one's in the dirt. 1-0.
Gump tonight 0 for 2. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 2nd, and that was a strikeout victim of Havern back in the 4th.
Not the best line you want as a batter. We'll see what he can do here. now facing a 3-0 count.
Monzon, not a lot of experience in the Valley League, not a lot of opportunity with Florida Atlantic this past year. Going to be a rising senior left-hander out of Miami. He only made 3 appearances, went an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 runs on 1 hit, walked 1 and struck out 3 this season.
A 4-pitch walk there. Take any base you can get.
Batting for your Tom Sox, the catcher,
Alvarez, Salvi Alvarez, now batting. A walk and a strikeout in his 2 plate appearances thus far. 8 and 9 batters coming up for the Tom Sox.
We've seen a lot of production from the bottom of this Tom Sox lineup throughout the season, and it could be no different right here.
5 straight balls to start this one for Monzon. There's a called strike, 1-1.
Quick update on that Orioles game after the Yankees took a 2-0 lead. The youngsters for the O's coming in clutch. Colton Cowser, the previously alluded to top prospect for the O's, making his major league debut. First career RBI single, and then his fellow teammate and top prospect Jordan Westberg right after him, a 2-run triple. And just like that, the Orioles have a lead.
And since nobody cares, we will get back to the Tom Sox game.
Funny. Tom Sox leading 2. So my 2 teams right now looking pretty good.
2-2 count. Alvarez just getting some direction here from head coach Lyndon Coleman.
You wonder if maybe with 2 strikes, Lyndon Coleman's drawing up a sacrifice bunt.
Everybody clap your hands.
Pinch runner now entering the game. Spikes coming in for Gump at first.
Tom Sox pitch running at first base from the University of Georgia, number 1, Garrett Spikes.
Yeah, you never really see a pinch hitter, or excuse me, a pinch runner in the middle of a count. There's nothing really wrong with Brady Gump, but Spikes does have more speed, so an interesting move by Lyndon Coleman.
Hit down well, fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Don't worry, we will have another update of the Yankees-Orioles when the Yankees reclaim the lead.
We will see. I mean, Orioles just got another run on the board, 4-2 now, so it's remained to be seen what will happen.
As Alvarez swings right through that one.
Second strikeout of the night for Monzon.
Number 14, Sergio Rivera.
7th total by the Covington Lumberjacks. Sergio Rivera with his famous song coming in. He was hit by a pitch and also struck out. We'll see what head coach Lyndon Coleman has in store for pinch runner Garrett Spikes. Hit well by Rivera, and that's through. Spikes is going to be forced to stay right at second.
It's really good to see from Sergio. He's been slumping at the plate recently, hasn't been that consistent of a presence in the lineup, just hitting .222 on the season through 17 games. But he continues his success against Covington. He was 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 3 stolen bases against Covington back on June the 2nd, and then tonight he's 1 for 2 now with that single. Bringing up the man who's responsible for the lone run of tonight's game, and Kyle Edwards.
Takes first pitch ball. Runner in scoring position for the Tom Sox. And that one is unable to fully find the gap, but no throw to be made.
It was really interesting there. You saw the shortstop Ventura shade towards the second base bag, maybe a potential back pick scenario or the double play depth, trying to get that ground ball up the middle. But instead, Edwards gets out in front of one, rolls it over in between the shortstop and the third baseman. But because Ventura was shaded more towards the bag, that's going to go down as an infield single rather than a chance to throw out Edwards at first base.
Make that 2 for 4 so far after Kyle Edwards didn't necessarily start the game how he wanted to, but definitely finishing it up really well so far as Bryce Martinez comes into bat, and his last at bat got a double, and he's 1 for 3 on the day as we have a mound visit here for the Lumberjacks. Big spot here if you're the Lumberjacks. Bases loaded, already down 1.
Yeah, you can't let this game get too out of hand. Your offense is struggling. Ryan Lynch is mowing down your lineup, and even if Lynch's night is done, Jordan Little, who's been unbelievable out of the bullpen this year for Charlottesville, is going to be coming in right behind him. So you can't bank on the fact that your offense is going to be able to come back. You would love for them to come back, and it's much more manageable to do that from a 1-run deficit rather than 2 or 3. But Bryce Martinez has gap-to-gap power. We saw him place a double down the right field line, which with Kyle Edwards' speed could bring him all the way around from first. So this game could turn on its head just with a snap of a finger right here.
One swing of a bat.
Exactly.
Especially a double could be bases clearing, as you mentioned. Probably the biggest at bat of the game here. 1-0. That one's also outside. 2-0 count. Monzon's really going to have to work his way back in this count with this at-bat. It's crucial. Good pitch there as Martinez swung right through that one.
An interesting approach there from Martinez, knowing Monzon has to throw a strike. Obviously, you know you're going to want to be aggressive, but at the same time, bases loaded, a walk brings in a run. No need to be aggressive here if you're Martinez. Make him throw you a strike.
And we'll see if he does exactly that here with the 3-1 hitters count. We'll see if he gets the green light or if he just takes it, as a walk does, score a run, as you said.
You'd think anything middle, or in his power zone, he'd swing at.
No.
But I was going to, before the swing, I was going to say anything on the outside part of the plate, he'd probably leave away. And you could tell right there he didn't necessarily want to swing at that pitch, but he felt the need to swing. And he was just a little late, more of a slow cast of the bat out there to the outside corner. Now a big payoff delivery here from Monzon.
Full count, 1 out. And outside, another run for the Tom Sox as the pinch runner spikes, comes across the plate. A huge at-bat there by Martinez, and the bases remain loaded for Williams, who is a huge power hitter and was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. And we'll see if the night is done for Monzon, and it is. Derek Williams now batting. Bases remain loaded. Rivera at third, Edwards at second, and Martinez at first.
And a big situation here for Jacob Heath, the senior out of West Florida.
1-0, and he's faced the Tom Sox 2 times. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs allowed.
That's the stats I was saying earlier about Jacob Havern, and I mixed him up a little bit, but he a lot of experience against this Tom Sox lineup. And in that last appearance against the Tom Sox on Saturday, went 2 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, none earned, and 2 walks with 4 Ks.
Overall has a 2.75 ERA in 6 games pitched. That one's in there for a strike 2 called. 21 strikeouts. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered here for the Lumberjacks.
He's been their best reliever all season long, for sure.
Big spot for him. That one's outside. Good eye by Williams. Evens the count at 2.
Really hard cutting slider right there from Heath. Really hard to tell off the hand whether that's going to be fastball or a slider. Similar speeds as well.
Pops him up, but that one's fouled out of play.
And his overall stats this year, this was his 7th appearance. He's 2-0, and over 16 1/3 innings, 2.75 ERA. As you mentioned, Gianni, 21 strikeouts, opponents hitting 217 against him.
Fouled that one off as well. If you're Williams here, you got to keep fighting. Big pitch coming. Just misses for another full count here. Two 2-0, Tom Sox in the lead, still threatening here in the bottom of the 7th. Second time he's been hit by a pitch. And another run crosses the plate for the Tom Sox. Makes it 3-0. Henry Ford, who's got on base twice with a single and a walk, is now batting.
And it's the second time in as many games for Derek Williams against Covington where he's been hit by a pitch that brings in a run where the bases were loaded. Really interesting to see that same scenario play out in 2 straight games for Williams. And now this is exactly the nightmare scenario that Covington was looking to avoid. Had a 1-0 lead. Offense really hasn't been there tonight. The Tom Sox pitching staff's been mowing down the lineup, but you were able to keep the Tom Sox offense at bay, an offense that's been unbelievable as of late.
Huge opportunity here for Ford. That one was right in there for strike 1 call.
And for Covington to get Havern's best stuff of the season, his best start, and now trailing 3-0 in the 7th with the offense struggling, not a situation you want to be in.
Hit right back to him, and able to get Williams at first for the double play. Good heads-up play there by Heath as he gets out of it. 3-0 Tom Sox. We'll be back, and Nathan Schwartz will 100% be calling the top of the 8th. 3-0 Tom Sox TV.
Back here for the top of the 8th inning here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you here for tonight's game between Covington and Charlottesville. It's been a pitcher's duel all the way through. It's been a common theme for Tom Sox game this season, especially here at CHO Airport Field, to be pitcher's duels. But what Mark Perkins and Ryan Lynch have been able to do tonight, Gianni, has been unbelievable.
Well, we are sitting at 13 strikeouts collectively as a pitching unit. That, you can't ask for much more.
You look at what Ryan Lynch has been able to do through 3 innings. He's struck out 8 of the 9 outs he's recorded. The lone out that was not a strikeout was a ground out for Logan Braunschweig in the top of the 5th inning. And then Gabe Miranda, the lone base runner that Ryan Lynch has allowed a 2-out walk in the 6th. There's that looping breaking ball. Didn't quite get the top of the zone, so the count 2-1 from Lynch to the leadoff man, Kendry Noriega, who's 1 for 2 on the night. Leadoff double in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 5th. Covington needs a late inning spark, just as the Tom Sox did on Saturday when these two teams met. There's a ground ball off of Hinks' knee. His throw to first is going to be in time for out number 1. Great rebound there for Hinks.
He didn't get it at first sight, but you know what? He didn't give up. He got it right away and able to get that throw to first to Williams in time for the first out of the top of the 8th.
Keeping the ball in front, that's the name of the game in the infield. If that ball gets by him, it's going to be a single, but he kept it in front. I'm sure that one hurt a little bit off the kneecap, but he's able to recover, make a good throw. That's the biggest part of the play. You might be able to keep it in front, but then not throwing the ball away, which could cause even more problems. So 1 out recorded, Logan Braunschweig, the second batter of the inning. He takes the first pitch down low, but in the zone for strike 1. Mark Perkins went 4 innings to start, gave up 3 hits, no runs, came across the plate, struck out 5. Ryan Lynch threw 3 1/3. Jordan Little continues to warm in the Tom Sox bullpen. There's that slider for Ryan Lynch for the 2nd strike of the at-bat.
Braunschweig shaking his head on that one. We'll see what Lynch dials up.
Braunschweig had a great day yesterday in the doubleheader against Newmarket. It was 3 for 5 with a double, 3 walks, 2 stolen bases as he sends one on a line to center field. Rivera barely has to move, just goes a couple steps to his left to bring that one in for out number 2. Braunschweig entering this game at a 15-game on-base streak, a 12-game hitting streak. Both of those were extended to 16-game on-base and 13-game hitting with his single back in the 3rd. But he's now 1 for 4 after that fly out to Rivera. And now it's going to be Greg Mello, who's 0 for 3 in the game. Was very successful against the Tom Sox coming into the game this season. 3 for 6 with a double, 2 RBI, but tonight 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Greg had a great season with Tallahassee Community College this season, was .301 average, .419 slugging, .396 on base with 4 homers. 0-1 breaking ball, that's upstairs, evens the count. But you look at what Mello's done at the plate this season, he's been, in terms of sample size and the amount of games he's played, no doubt the best hitter in this Covington lineup.
Red hot in his first 18 games, that's for sure.
.380 average, 3 homers, 19 RBIs coming in. OPS just south of 1 at .984. And he takes that 1-1 delivery inside, so 2-1 the count to Mello. 3-0 Tom Sox here in the top of the 8th. Kyle Edwards, a solo homer in the bottom of the 5th, and then in the bottom of the 7th, an RBI walk for Martinez and an RBI hit by pitch for Derek Williams. 2-1 breaking ball from Lynch. That catches the top of the zone. Mello disagrees with the call. Talking with home plate umpire Jeff Shaner. And that'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Straight up defense for the Tom Sox against the righty slugger in Mello. Lynch rocks to a set. The 2-2. Breaking ball down low. Alvarez tried to bring it up, but didn't quite get the call.
Huge pitch here. Full count, 2 outs. Lynch trying to get out of this one.
It's going to be his inning to lose. He's already through 3 2/3 in this one. The starter Perkins went 4. Can Lynch match him? Here's the payoff. In the dirt, ball 4. So it'll be the second walk issued tonight by Ryan Lynch, only the second base runner he's allowed. And both of them have been 2-out walks, one in the 6th and now one in the 8th. And now Salvi Alvarez going to go out and have a talk with Ryan Lynch, who has been absolutely phenomenal tonight. 3 2/3 innings, no hits, no runs allowed, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts.
That's an insane stat line. And he's really only allowed 1 hard hit ball. And that was the one to Connor Hanks' third base, and he was able to recover it and get it to Williams.
Most walks Lynch has allowed in an appearance this season. He gave up 1 walk apiece in his first 2 outings. Didn't give up a walk in his last 2 outings. But has given up 2 tonight. This is tied for his longest outing of the season, as the first pitch to Renteria is down low for ball 1. He went 3 2/3 innings and got the win against Waynesboro on June 14th. Gave up 2 hits in that one, walked 1 and struck out 6. So a pretty similar line to this one without giving up any hits tonight. 1-0 to Renteria. Breaking ball skied to right. Wiley is out there. He makes the catch for out number 3, and give a hand for Ryan Lynch. 4 innings pitched, his longest outing of the season. No hits allowed, no runs given up, and he stays at 8 strikeouts. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, Tom Sox looking to add some more insurance. It's Charlottesville 3, Covington 0 here on Tom Sox TV. Man, the pitching tonight for Charlottesville has been ridiculously awesome. Really, so many ways to describe it. Awesome, phenomenal, outstanding. Any way you cut it, it's gotten the job done. 8 shutout innings for the Tom Sox pitching staff, and now the Tom Sox hitters get a chance to do some more damage as David Wiley takes a big swing and a miss for strike number 1 here in the 8th.
I think the most important one you missed was immaculate.
Immaculate, for sure.
Both pitchers combining for 13 strikeouts through 8 innings pitched, 4 apiece.
There's a hard drive foul for Wiley, who replaced Hollis Porter in the lineup. Wiley struck out swinging in his first at-bat in the 6th. Wiley was wearing the Georgia Bulldogs helmet in his first at-bat, now is wearing one of the Notre Dame helmets. He's always switching helmets. As there's a ground ball to shortstop. Ventura will throw to first. A little bit of a high throw, but Moran is able to get that foot back down on the bag in time, and Wiley's retired for out number 1. Wiley now 0 for 2 on the night as Connor Hanks steps into the left-handed batter's box. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play to end the 6th.
See if he can change his fortunes here in the bottom of the 8th.
Heath, one of the long relievers on this Covington staff. He's gone at least 2 2/3 innings in 5 of his 6 appearances entering the game. Already threw a full inning of work tonight after the double play to end the 7th and then the ground out to begin the 8th, as he's already had 0-2 on Hinks.
Whether the Lumberjacks come back with an inspired come from behind 3-0. Either way, that double play was so huge for Heath.
Line drive right back to him, and then he tried to go to third. Runner was back there, but Williams was well on his way to second base, and just a quick toss over to first to get out number 3 there. There's a fastball on the outside for Heath. That doesn't catch the zone. So the count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Fighting Irish third baseman. Hinks not a lot of at-bats with Notre Dame this year. Only had 6 of them, only got 1 hit in 7 appearances. 1-2 to Connor, and he takes a cut through that one, doesn't make contact, and that's going to be out number 2. First time he's gone down on strikes tonight.
Batting for your Tom Sox, number 1, Garrett Spikes.
Fan favorite, Garrett Spikes digging in.
And fan favorite, and we can see why. This is his 3rd season with Charlottesville. In 2021, he made 31 appearances, hit .276. In 2022, he appeared in 30 games and hit .277. His stat lines have been near identical. In 2021, 31 games, .276 average, 3 homers, 24 RBIs, 7 doubles, 6 walks, and 10 stolen bases. In 2022, 30 games, only 1 game difference, .277 average, only 1 point difference there. 3 home runs, so same amount of home runs, 14 RBIs in 22, so he had 10 less RBI. 1 more double, he had 8 in 22, 7 in 21, 11 walks, that's 5 more in 22 than 21, and then only 2 stolen bases in 22 compared to the 10 in 21. So very similar stat lines he's produced in really every offensive category, as he's already had 2-0 here in the 8th.
Very consistent hitter, and the stat line proves that, that's for sure.
And he's having a great start to his time with Charlottesville here in 23. Over 5 games, he's hitting .375 with 3 RBI and a double, as he takes an excuse-me swing on the 2-0 delivery. So he remains ahead 2-1. And against Covington this season, he's 1 for 3 with a stolen base and 2 strikeouts. That was his line on Saturday in Covington. 2-1 from Heath. Slider swung on and missed by Spikes. And Heath 1 strike away from getting a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. Heath works out of the stretch. Here's the 2-2 delivery. There's a swing and a miss from Garrett Spikes. It's back-to-back strikeouts in the bottom of the 8th for Jacob Heath, and that will do it for the 8th inning. Both teams put up zeros in the 8th as we head to the top of the 9th. Charlottesville 3 outs away from its 6th consecutive win and its 3rd win on this homestand. Don't go anywhere. A great finish coming up here on Tom Sox TV. We begin the top of the 9th here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Gianni Maltese with you for this top of the 9th inning. We've been here all night long. It's been a great atmosphere tonight. Dolly rocks the Sox night here at CHO Airport Field. Middle of the homestand for Charlottesville. We'll be back home tomorrow night against Purcellville, and then a doubleheader on Friday against Woodstock before a road game on Saturday, and then another home doubleheader on Sunday. So a lot of baseball here at home over this week for Charlottesville, and looking to make it 3 games in a row to start this homestand with a W.
You took the words right out of my mouth. A lot of baseball to be played, and especially here at home at CHO Airport Field. Mike Eggert comes in with the chance to earn a save, and in his last appearance on June 29th versus Stanton, he did earn a save through 2 innings pitched, 0 hits and 0 runs with 0 Ks.
Another one of the returners for this Tom Sox team from the VBL champions in 22. First pitch of the night for Eggert. Looping curveball finds the zone for strike 1. Mike, over 5 appearances this season, has 2 saves and 0 ERA and 8 2/3 innings pitched. Only given up 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 5 batters. Another player in contention for that midseason Cy Young Award that is a hypothetical, of course. 0-1 changeup misses down low, evens a count.
Another 0.00 ERA, just like Little.
But really a flip in the script for Eggert. He only had 4 appearances with Charlottesville last year. Went 10 innings, had an ERA north of 7. Gave up 8 runs in those 10 innings, 13 hits allowed as well. So this year, a lot more control, a lot more experience. He's a rising senior at Wofford, Greenville, South Carolina native. And he had a lot of experience with Wofford this past year, 34 2/3 innings. Made 6 starts, 13 appearances overall. 1-2 the count from Eggert, and he gets Miranda swinging. High heat for Mike Eggert, and 2 away from a Tom Sox dub.
Over 20 combined strikeouts between both pitching staffs. That's incredible.
14th strikeout of the night for the Tom Sox. 5 issued to Perkins, 8 for Ryan Lynch. They each threw 4 innings. And now Mike Eggert has 1 away and is 2 outs away from a save tonight, which would be his 3rd of the season.
As Christopher Watson is now the pinch hitter.
Anthony Castillo's night is done. In his Covington debut, he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, but now Chris Watson, a chance to get an at-bat here. Watson, a rising sophomore at Meridian Community College. He played in 41 games this season, hit .338, 7 homers, 30 RBIs, and swiped 12 bags. Foul ball off the hands, and the count moves to 0-2. Watson did have a pretty good game against the Tom Sox on Saturday. He was 2 for 5 with a stolen base, hitting .273 over 4 games so far this season with Covington.
Big pitch here by Eggert.
He's ahead 0-2. He got Miranda to strike out swinging. Now the 0-2 to Watson. Slider outside for ball 1. Charlottesville entered the game 14-7 on the season. After tonight's game, we'll be halfway through the regular season. 1-2, breaking ball, swinging. Alvarez puts the tag on, and Eggert, 2 strikeouts to begin his outing, and 1 away from a Tom Sox win.
Batting for Covington, number 31, Shinar Brown.
Watson goes down on strikes for the 3rd time this season in 12 at-bats. And now Shinar Brown, who pinch hit for Luke Smith in the 7th inning, will get his 2nd at-bat tonight. He was a strikeout victim of Ryan Lynch. And the first pitch slider for Eggert in there for strike 1. The Tom Sox pitching staff has just been off the charts tonight.
You can't draw it up any better.
The best stuff we've seen from them all season long. 0-1 delivery, fly ball to right into the Tom Sox bullpen. Wiley's not going to get there, and it's out of play for strike 2, and Covington's down to its final strike.
That foul ball was sponsored by Carter
What else is there to say other than the Sox are hot?
Sox are hot, 1 pitch away from remaining hot, and moving to win number 15 in just 22 games.
And 6 in a row.
Eggert from the windup gets the sign. The 0-2 pitch. One hopper to Martinez at second. He throws to Williams at first, and that's the ball game. The Tom Sox with their first shutout of the season. 4 innings for Ryan Perkins. 4 innings for Mark Perkins, rather. 4 innings for Ryan Lynch. And 1 scoreless ninth for Mike Eggert. And the Tom Sox put up a 0 as a pitching staff for the first time in 2023. They moved to 15-7 on the season with a 3-0 win over the Lumberjacks tonight. Gianni, what did you see tonight?
Just all pitching. All pitching. 25 total strikeouts by both teams. That's immaculate pitching. Both teams couldn't have drew it up any better. The bottom of the 7th also proved crucial by just extending at bats up and down the lineup, extending at bats, taking those hit by pitches. Obviously, we all know how much they hurt, but they took them. They took the walks, ended up scoring 2 runs because of it, and Kyle Edwards just really got us started off. When we were lacking any kind of offensive surge, he just came in, got that homer, and it seemed like, the pitching duel was already there, but everything just seemed to really turn the tide in favor of the Tom Sox after that home run.
15 combined strikeouts for the Tom Sox pitching staff tonight. 5 for Perkins, 8 for Lynch, 2 for Eggert in that 9th inning. Final numbers tonight for the game. The Tom Sox, 3 runs on 5 hits. Kyle Edwards, a solo homer in the 5th. 2 runs on a walk and a hit by pitch in that 7th inning. Tom Sox left 7 runners on base and committed just 1 error tonight. As for Covington, no runs on 3 hits. They did not commit an error tonight, and they left a slew of runners on base. They also left 7 runners on base. Winning pitcher tonight is going to be Mark Perkins. Losing pitcher will be
Havern. As we mentioned earlier.
Havern will get the loss, and Mike Eggert with his 3rd save of the season.
And Lynch earning himself a hold.
Lynch will get the hold. Tom Sox improved to 15-7 on the season, remain in 2nd place in the Valley League. As for Covington, they dropped down to 12-9, and they will remain in 3rd place for now. Winchester right on their tail at 13-10. Harrisonburg behind them at 13-11, and Front Royal at 13-12 right behind them. So it's going to be a race to the top. The top 8 teams of VBL will make the playoffs this year. And it looks like Charlottesville and Covington both on their way to be in those playoffs. But as we mentioned, this is only the halfway point of the season. Charlottesville on pace to win 30 of the 44 regular season games and looking to win back-to-back VBL championships for the first time in team history. But when this team can get things going offensively, and if they can keep pitching the way they did tonight, there's no reason why they cannot win another VBL championship.
Let's go Tom Sox, and thank you all for listening.
Absolutely. Let's go Sox. Tom Sox are back home tomorrow here at CHO Airport Field against Purcellville. That game scheduled for a 7 p.m. first pitch. As for Covington, taking a look at their schedule, they've got a doubleheader tomorrow back at Casey Field in Covington against Woodstock. So back-to-back days for Woodstock with a doubleheader. They'll face Covington on the road tomorrow, and then they'll come here to Charlottesville and take on Charlottesville on Friday. So a lot of baseball, as we mentioned. This was the start of a 23-game stretch in 19 days for Charlottesville, and they started out with a 1-0 record. That's going to do it for us tonight. For Gianni Maltese, the rest of our Tom Sox TV crew, I'm Nathan Schwartz signing off from CHO Airport Field. Tom Sox win their 6th straight and move to 15-7 on the season. Good night, everybody.